got a young heart. So it's like,
Okay.
you know,
So you're about
yeah.
21 years old. So
Yeah.
who let us know, let the world know who are the Fantasy Three.
Fantasy 3. It's Silver Fox, that's me, my man Charlie Rock, Jimenez, and Larry D. And we formed Fantasy 3 because Devastating Tito from Phyllis 4, he actually knew Charlie Rock and Larry. And I was a solo MC. I used to battle people. I go around places and battle at parties, and I was just ripping because I had to get known. You know what I mean? People ain't know who the heck I was. I came out of nowhere. So it was like, okay, everybody wanted to battle me, and
Mm.
I was changing the whole game. Instead of going into that yes yes so and you don't stop and to the beat now, but I started going into some real verbals, some vocalization. You know what I mean?
So who did it? Who did it? Who did first? You or Mo D?
Who did what first?
Kind of like change the way MCs rhyme, the rhyme patterns.
Yeah, Mo D did a whole lot to change the rhyme pattern because he had that fast rhyming, and he had a few little vocalizations that he would say that had stories in it. You know what I mean? And the thing is that I learned from them. You know what I mean? I learned from them. Tito had me under his wing. You know what I mean? And Devastating Tito, he's very prolific as far as the English language and stuff. He's very intelligent. So it's like, through them, I started doing my own thing. But see, my stuff was like I had run-on sentences, like, what I call the run-on rap. Like, I got this story I must relay. It happened to me on a Monday, sitting alone in a cafe. Pretty late day, she came my way. She said, you want to share a little money? I said, I don't mind. It would be okay. She then grabbed my hand, walked to her Chevrolet, stepped inside, and we drove away. She said, my name's Faye. Got a sister named Kay. Haven't had a man for a couple of days. I said, don't display any dismay, because I could do it good without delay. Stuff like that. It kept running on, with the AA. And at that time, we using an echo chamber. So as I got this story that I must relay.
Okay, okay. So do you think the Fantasy Three kind of pioneered the echo ad libs doubles?
No, no, we didn't. What we did as Fantasy 3 was, see, I was the writer for the group. And
Okay.
so I wrote everybody's lyrics at first. So when we came out with "It's Your Rock," which is our first record, 1983, which was produced by Master OC, also from the Fearless Four. So we came out with an electro sound, which is like and Aldo Marin was a dude. I got to give him a shout out to. But we had an electro sound, which was totally different with live music played by my man Pumpkin from Pumpkin and the All Stars and King of the Beat Pumpkin. Rest in peace to him. And Pumpkin actually played all the instruments on the song, on the record. And then we took that and just started mixing and electrifying it and So we came out as just a Harlem group, that was we actually put our record through the radio. We manufactured it ourselves. At first, we was on Specific Records, which we had a problem with. So we formulated our label, which was CCL Records.
Okay, so I saw that specific on the early Fantasy 3, that records that dropped in 83.
Right.
So whose label was that?
Specific Records was a label, Clark J. That was the guy's name. He was the executive of Specific Records. Now this was located in New York also, but the thing was that we had a problem with our sound scans and with distribution, and also because the Crash Crew, they came out with a record, Crash Crew on the Radio, which was like a bite on our record.
Yeah, I heard that. I read it and I heard both records.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the feeling? What was the feeling when you heard that personally? When you heard another group basically bite one of your records? How did you feel as an MC? Okay.
I was kind of upset because it's like this is our first record, and off of our first record, we on the radio, we getting played and we getting played, and then the thing that happened with them because Sylvia Robinson, she had Sugar Hill Records,
Right.
so she was strong enough to actually get our record squashed so that theirs would be playing. So the station started playing their record. So of course I was upset. I was calling them the trash crew on the radio, and I was dissing them big time. And we had a battle, but we made another record called "Biters in the City," which
Okay.
was dedicated to them because they did our record.
Yeah, that was a diss record right there.
Right, right. So it's like, so we telling them, get this straight. The way we narrate, the others imitate, and this we state, MCs we hate. We take what we create and try to simulate. Don't start to break, because I know you can't wait to spit out your mouth of words you ate and your helpmates. Let's locate. So from state to state, we can eliminate, castrate, cremate, amputate, and mutilate. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote all those lyrics because it came from a freestyle that I had when I was battling. So with that, the first like hooks and all of that, you know what I mean? I kind of wrote all of that, and I got them to write their 16s. The 16 bars. For those that don't know, they write their verses.
Mm-hmm.
So I got them to write their verse, and I actually started changing the structure of the music and put a coda in there, like a little bass line with that boom 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 boom. So we could be like, hey, by the MCs are not through yet. We're here to protect our concept. The words we direct, you can't inspect, but don't digest and don't collect. So it's like, put a little change in there so that it would be kind of different and it wouldn't be sticking to the norm, you know? But
Okay.
yeah, I was mad upset with them, and then we had a battle in 1984 at Broadway International Disco, and
Okay.
so I just came out and started dissing them, and they wanted to fight.
So did it stay on? Did it stay on the like? Did the beef stay on the mic? Was it lyrical, or did it get turn into a physical confrontation with that group? How did it go down?
It was physical. It was lyrical and it was physical. Cause me myself, I was, I'm a crazy dude anyway. So I was going into their projects and playing our music, playing Biters in the City on a boombox and drinking a 40 and daring anybody to say anything.
Oh, you was doing it like that, OG?
Yeah, baby, that's how it's done. You know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
So I don't care, man. I ain't care because it was like it was our record, man, and they just did it and also squashed our record on the radio. So now it's like we're not getting the radio play for Your Rock, so that takes away some revenue
Right.
and shows and etc. So I'm like, I'm crazy upset about that, and I didn't know how that went about. So that's when CCL Records was formulated.
Was that your label?
No, that was actually CCL stood for Chico, Charlie, Larry. So my man Chico, which is Julio Guina, that put up the money for us to do like his Your Rock, he put us in the studio, etc. So he actually bankrolled his label. So it stands for Chico, which is him, and Charlie, which is Charlie Rock. He became the vice president, and Larry was the treasurer.
Okay.
So yeah. So since I was actually excluded from that, but it didn't bother me at the time because I was like, well, we're gonna take this label and move it to another platform with me as the writer and to gather up new artists, etc. Because I was the A&R for it.
So yeah, I mean the game is shiesty, man. It's like somebody's always trying to somebody's always trying to take advantage of the pure, the real artists. Me being an independent artist, I've come across all types of individuals that try to take advantage of me and overcharge me for things. So I totally
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from with that situation right there. One thing I wanted to ask you, being that I have knowledge of self, do you remember the five percenters around um hip hop.
Yeah, it was a whole 5% nation, which is of course it's all located in Harlem. It was Clarence 13X, who had the 5% nation right there,
Hmm.
and that's you got knowledge yourself. so, so it's like it was a whole like Poor Righteous Teachers. They were 5%
Right,
nation.
right. Definitely a fan of their music.
Oh yeah, me too,
Do
me
you
too.
do you feel the gods contributed to the early stages of hip hop? Do you remember anything in particular, them being around, or just
The God, the gods were always around to protect the gods, and actually to but I don't want to put no negative connotation upon the nation.
right?
But the thing is that there was a lot of rallies. There were 5% rallies that everybody would congregate, and I had some brothers that like my brother Wesu. He's a 5%, but he's now a Muslim.
Uh huh.
Which is different. But I got a lot of brothers that were 5% nation, so that when I went places, because I like going places by myself, when I went places, the gods would be there to, to do a little lookout for me.
Oh,
So
much
it's like,
respect, much respect. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
So, but
yeah,
I mean, that's how I imagine it. Because I was born in '82, and I got knowledge of self in around 2001, 2002. That's when I started building and studying 120
right. Studying
myself.
1 to 20, okay. And your mathematics,
Exactly. Today's mathematics is wisdom equality, and I'm glad that we got this interview in on February, being that you definitely have contributed to Black history as we
yes,
know
sir,
it with this hip hop, with this hip hop thing that we all love.
yes,
Um,
sir. And the thing is, I got a lot of history with a lot of people. Like with CCL Records, we were located on 34th and Amsterdam, which is in Harlem,
mhm.
and my man LL Cool J, he actually came through because he was trying to get signed. He was like 16,
So,
and
how old was he when the? That's what I wanted to ask you next. Was how old was LL? Because he definitely influenced me as a child. How old was he when you met him and y'all started hitting the clubs and getting on the mic and sparring with each other? How old was he?
he was 16.
Okay,
He was
16.
actually, yeah, he was 16. You know, he just turned 16, and he's trying to get signed. And he came down to see me. We built from there, and from there he hung out with me for the whole summer. We was honing each other's skills. Iron sharpens iron, and so I took him around places like in Joe Grant's, a place called Joe Grant's, and where my boy Coochie Rap was at. Who was actually one of his influences as far as hip hop is concerned. And I took him everywhere. White Plains. I brought him all over New York because the thing was that like I wanted to sign him to our label, but other people they didn't want to sign him. And I'm like,
Wow.
you're making a big mistake.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's all right. I told him what was up. He said, well, I'm gonna hang out with you, fuck. So we battle each other on the trains, on buses, and clubs, and and that it's okay because it kept them on point and kept me on point, and we studied cadences and different styles and where to breathe at, where not to, like how you could extend your words so you don't run out of breath, how to be a stage presence, it was the whole tutelage of hip hop, you know.
So
And
oh, go ahead.
and so when he went his way, he met Rick Rubin, what you call it, Ad Rock, because he was making demos, and
Hmm.
Ad Rock, I think, had showed the demo to Rick Rubin, and that's all she wrote.
So let me ask you, like right now, 2022, how does it feel knowing that you influence someone who's been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? How does that feel?
That felt great, especially I mean all through his career, like when he was in movies, when he was dropping his first album, and from the second album. I mean, we've been in touch with each other throughout the years. So it's like, I'm his dude, he's my dude, and I'm very proud of him because it's his hard work and it's also a team to back him up. You know what I mean? When you get your promotion team, when you got your publisher, you got you got you have a whole marketing team and a whole team that's going to cultivate your career. So that's actually what helped them. I mean, through Def Jam, that's a whole school right there. You know.
Yeah. So I mean, actually, the person that told me about the legend of MC Silver Fox is a good friend of mine, my brother Universal Truth. I want to say peace to him. He told me about you back when I started to take rap serious in 2001, and the the legend has it that you decided to step away from music and become a chef. Is that true?
Yeah, I did. I stepped away from Fantasy 3, and
Okay.
I went to Atlantic City, and among other things that I was doing, I was a chef. so so I was cooking in the casinos. Because it's like it wasn't paying me. You know,
Exactly.
and right. So if rap don't pay me, you gotta get a job. And it's like there's a lot of MCs from back in the day, and they're working right now. They're not, they're not doing the music because the music's not paying. So moving to another thing. So back then, I went to Atlantic City,
Okay.
but also I hooked up with a crew called the Enterprise, and I also hooked up with the LOD posse, which was Legion of Doom, and I hooked up with All Powerful Jam Masters, but with the Enterprise, I did an album in 1999 called the New Millennium Album,
Okay.
and yeah, we put that out in Atlantic City. We had it in the record stores on CDs and cassettes, and this is before streaming. So we were selling it right out the trunk and all of that, and did pretty good on it because it went all over the place, like to Georgia, because I went to Savannah, Georgia, and of course I brought those with me. So we had it down south, and through the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia. So we did pretty good with it.
Yeah, I felt it was really important to ask you about that, like how you got to this point in life without, huge success in the music industry, at least like monetary wise, So
Yeah.
because
Well, the thing.
we could be, we could this interview could be being watched by some young artists who don't want to get a job or don't have multiple hustles. And I mean, if it wasn't for me going to work and being an entrepreneur myself, and I would have no music for the world to listen to, you know.
Well, see, new artists also they learn from every other mistake. Like Hammer when he lost millions, and like people that there's all over YouTube. There's interviews on people that's like that got junked, that went through. You know what I mean? So right now,
Yeah.
at this time, people can do things for themselves. There's studios you can set up in your home. You could stream your music. There's distribution formats that you can utilize. There's a whole market open, and even videos can be done. Videos are the thing that's selling the music. So you can, we used to have the music to sell to sell the videos. I mean, we did the music and put our music out without even having videos. That's why there's no videos of Fantasy 3. Or the early days of hip hop, there's no videos for him. Even with Melly Mel, when he did White Lines, he don't have a video for it. So it's like so now let's fast forward. It's 2022, and you could do your videos. I mean, I got videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? That I got done, and I got the music to go with the videos. So it's like these are all marketing tools. But that's not the only thing. I mean, like I got some clothing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to market other things like shades, cups, your images. There's so many things that get the bag. You know what I mean? So it's all about diversity. You have to diversify your stuff, and it's not just music. It's imagery too. Like images, everything. Like Sprite.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. So it's a whole lot. There's so many different levels to it that you got to cover all your ends. You know what I mean? And then there's also through copywriting, through registering all your music, so that when it's getting played on radio, you know about it because it's in your sound scan. Or when somebody in Germany is playing it, at least you know that you get it through your sound scan because radio. They have the radio. The executive producer or whatever, they have to write down what they're playing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. Like right now, we in an era where anybody could make music. Anybody and their mama, they could make music. And they selling their images.
You know what's crazy is, okay. So I heard about MC Silver Fox in 2001. And then I would say about 2-3 years ago, I was checking my Reverb page because I'm from San Diego, California, and I was influenced by artists that came before me from New York and California and all over.
Right.
And
You in
so
San Diego?
I'm from San Diego. That's where I'm
Okay.
at right now doing the interview. And
Okay.
the crazy part is I'm going to check my Reverb, my ranking, because I stayed in the top 10 like for a good 3-4 years or whatnot. And one
Right.
day I'm like ranked like number 10 San Diego artist, and right above me, or right, it was MC Silver Fox, and I'm like, yo, like, could this be the dude I've been hearing about for almost 20 years that I've never seen a picture, never saw a music video? So that's how I found you on Reverb Nation. How did you get on?
Right.
How did you get in the San Diego
Well,
section?
I used to live in San Diego.
Okay.
I've been all over. I lived in San Diego. I even have my video was filmed in Balboa Park. Yeah, at night. So it's
What
like
year?
I
What
stay.
year did you move to San Diego? Because I was born in '82, and I've been out here most of my life.
Nah, it was recent. Let me think now. I was there in 2008. 2008 I got a partner that's in San Diego named J Mac,
Okay.
Jeffrey Friend, and I stayed out there on F Street.
Oh,
Right.
downtown,
Yeah, downtown, right
downtown
by the
San Diego. Okay.
yeah, right by the old library, and by the gas lake district. You know what I'm saying?
Gaslamp District. Yeah, yeah. I'm very familiar with the area. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm quite sure you're from San
yeah.
Diego.
Right.
So I was out there because I had just left from down south. I was staying in Savannah, Georgia, and then I went to San Diego, California, and I stayed down there for like maybe 3 years, and then I went to San Bernardino. So the thing is, when I started that Reverb Nation page, I was in San Diego. So I added all my stuff through there. That's when I started like reinventing myself. I started marketing myself again because I was out of music for a while. Now this is where the conundrum is that when I left and went to Atlantic City, then I did an album, the New Millennium album, 1999. But then I left Atlantic City and I went down south, and I wasn't doing music. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing any type of music, so it's like this is and in the '90s I wasn't doing it, so I missed the whole era, of music. So I'm just chilling. I'm doing my thing. I had kids, made my babies in the '80s and stuff like that. So it's like I had my little hustle thing, and I went from Savannah, Georgia to California. I chilled out there for a few years, and then I came back to New York. So it's like, I'm well traveled. Let's put it that way.
When you first started taking rap serious and writing rhymes and battling, how important was it to be original?
It's very important. I at that time too, I wasn't really listening to people, and that's another thing that I don't do. Like I listen to different artists, and I listen to this stuff, but then I don't listen to it like over and over again. You know what I mean? Because that stuff will bleed into you,
Right.
and so it is about being original, so that this way, anytime somebody hear me, they know that that's Silver Fox. It's like, so it's a brand thing. It's branding yourself and saying this is me.
Okay, so you feel the more original an artist is, the more he separates himself from the pack.
That's right. Because if you listen to, like, I was listening to the radio recently. If you listen to the radio, everybody sound the same,
Right.
and it's like, sure, okay, that's cool. You're all gonna sound the same, and you're all gonna fit into the same little cookie cutter mold. But then there's people that's original. It's like the Eminem. There's like 50 Cent, and there's I can run them all down. I mean, even on the East Coast, where you got the locks. I mean, there's nobody like Jadakiss. There's nobody like like Chic Luke's, and nobody's like the Locks, or nobody's like Fabulous. Nobody's like So all the individuals that have that individual originality, they have longevity also. Now these cats that's now like ASAP Ferg, I mean ASAP Ferg, the baby, or put it on, they are marketed to be the same in the same mold. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the only thing that's different about them is the videos. But when it comes to the music, a lot of it is the same.
I put out a project. I grew up listening to mixtapes, and I not only was inspired by MCs, I was inspired by like mixtape DJs of the 90s.
Yeah.
And so I put out my first mixtape in 2008 after coming back from a trip to Brooklyn. Shout out to my brother Just C and Deshaun out there
Okay.
out there in Medina. They let me stay with them in an apartment in the let me see, Linden Projects in East New York.
Right, I got you.
So
I know what you mean.
that's how difficult it was for me to actually put together my first project. So I actually left San Diego, moved to Brooklyn, made some connections, found couple jobs, got in the studio and put together this project called Multiple Cell Phones mixtape album. So I focused on the mixtapes and I put out a project called Quality Over Quantity. That's the name of my debut album, available on all streaming platforms. So
Hmm.
I think that a problem that I'm having with artists is they're putting out too much music that isn't their best, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like just putting it out to put it out.
Right,
Right.
right. It's like an abundance of music because it's so easy to make now, but I think it makes it harder for the listener to really rock with their channel or their catalog. You know what I mean? Because you got to skim through. Like I come from the era where we bought CDs and we bought tapes, and so when you made a good investment, you value those albums, you value that Illmatic, you value Doggy
Right.
Style, or those
Oh, especially doggy style.
Reasonable Doubt,
Yeah.
albums like that, because when you spent that money back in the day and the album was trash, it only had two or three songs. It was like it was a bummer, it really it really like
Yeah.
messed up your week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So I really
So
value the classics. Like I think if it's not your best work, why even put it out? How do you feel about that?
I feel that too. But also sometimes you gotta keep people interested.
Right.
So you gotta throw a little something at them, a
Hmm.
teaser. Like what I do, I like to give some free music. Be like, yo, here you go, yo, download it. It's free. You can have it. Bada bing. And when I started doing it, like when I started with my Reverb Nation page, I was actually learning how to record again from in a digital system. You know what I mean? Instead of going into a studio and record, I was learning how to record in a self-contained studio that I had.
Right,
So
right, right.
I,
Home
I,
studio.
I yeah, so I laid music, and then I go, I wonder what they gonna think about this. Okay, but then I have some music that was done like in L.A. My boy John Shaft, rest in peace, John Shaft. But when I was in San Diego, I would travel to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
and go to Soundboy Killer Staff, and I go to the studio over there and do recording. So a lot of my stuff, I have the Resurrection album, which is available on Bandcamp. You know what I mean? MC Silver Five, and
Okay.
yeah, I put that out in 2020, and it's a Resurrection album, which is like a lot of it was recorded right there, like in the studio in LA. Some of it was recorded in my own studio, and it's under Silver Fox Music, which is my own production, my own company. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm like, it's all about. To me, it's about if you want. It takes time. Like right now, I have my best work done. I have some good stuff that I got it done, and I'm ready to have the Howling album out. But yet, I'll keep listening to it and keep self criticizing myself and keep, you know what I mean? So it's like, and then there's all the paperwork that got to go with it. So everybody that's featured on it, I got to get their ASCAP, get your BMI, get your, you know what I mean? If I want to do it properly, because I'm not doing a mixtape, and just going, yo, okay, bet we're going to throw this out there, but
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah.
I'm doing an album. So there's a whole lot that goes with it. There's the distribution, there's the streaming, there's the videos that got to be done, there's the this, the that. But
Mm-hmm.
I got stuff I'm sitting on, which I think is some of the best work. So I'm just chilling on some of that. But in my opinion, throwing out music just to throw it out. That's because there's a lot of cats that's got studios, so they living in their studio. Their studio is right there. Yo, they get drunk and be like, "Oh man, that beat is dope. Let me put something on it." And then it's like, "Yeah, okay, that's dope. Let's move on to the next one." You know what I mean? Without any thought or any process, and they're getting plugged in. So it's like, okay, but they saying a verse and mess up this, all right, back it up. Then they plug them in and they say some more, back it up, plug them in, which is how Dr. Dre did Easy. When Easy was doing his joint, Dre was plugging them in. It's like, okay, we do a little bit, you mess up, we're gonna plug you back in and then come with a complete record. So
You know what I think, Silver Fox. What's really inspiring about your story is that you still write rhymes. How many years have you been writing rhymes? From when?
man, let me see. 1980, what, 1979, 1978, right?
1978.
1978. So we go from 78, because in 1980, oh man, I wish I could find it, but they got it on a cassette tape. I did a live party for New Year's in 1980. But when I came back from Alaska, it was 1978. And that's when I started really, writing. I mean, I got books and books of rhymes.
We talking over 40 years then.
Yeah, we're talking over 40 years.
That's
Man.
dope. Cause I'm at 20, and I've been focusing more on my DJing, but hearing your story, it inspires me just to keep writing, even if I don't plan on putting out any new music right this moment. Just keep writing and
Yeah,
keep
it's
giving.
like,
Doing what I love.
yeah, see, the thing too is that life could make you write, like it's all poetic structure. So it's like I think about like things I've been through. Like I was a gangster at one time. You feel me? I was doing gangster stuff, so I started writing gangster stuff. I was in love. I wrote some love stuff. I was my mind goes in a whole lot of different directions, and then I sit down with pen and I think about it. But see, the thing is I gotta have that space to take the time to actually sit and think and write, you know, because and it's not about writing to beats. Like a lot of cats, they write to beats, to a beat. You give me a beat and I'm gonna write. Nah, I could write without a beat, and then this way you could make your cadence conform to whichever beat that's being played, and then you could even take words, eliminate words, but by then you have it memorized already.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about writing and memorizing. But think about it. I got 40 years, over 40 years worth of lyrics inside of my brain. So
Right.
that I could go, oh yeah, I remember, I could remember rhymes from here, from there, from there, from this, from that, you know. And
Yeah, I noticed that just by talking to you and watching some of your other interviews. I'm like, yo, this brother has a great memory because it unless you write rhymes, unless you an MC, you don't realize and you know how difficult it is to remember bars that you wrote 10 years ago or even last year if you're constantly writing new stuff, and dealing with
yeah,
life as a whole.
yes. But see, however, I think the thing is that once you have it in your brain, it takes a trigger to activate the whole thing. So
Right.
with me, the first line, if I remember the first line, everything else follows through. You know, so if like a comedian that would think about the first line of what their joke is, and they remember the joke. Because and some of them have it written down or something like just one line, and that's a good thing to do too, to have one line written down and you go, oh yeah, like a bar, two bars, like when I walk down the street, the fence will say until the pills of the pond and makes you beat, and then you remember the whole joint. Yeah, boom, boom, pin him and nick, boom, pin him and that. Yeah. So it's like if you have those and you memorize that, I'm showing you a trick too. If you have those one lines, two bars, and you memorize those two bars, the rest comes right there into play. But see, my thing is, as I write, I'm like, yeah, that sounds dope. Then I'm saying it over and over in my head, and I remember that. And then I'm writing some more. Then I say that combined with what I just memorized. Then I have those two memorized. Then I'm writing some more verbs. Now I'm good. It's like and that's how to do it for freestyle. Like with Britain's. Like K Slade, where he has the cats on there on the radio station, and they just spitting bars after bar after bar. That, those are the ones that you memorize that go because you want to be ready for a battle. And me being a battle MC, where somebody gonna come up, and Fox, you ain't nobody, man. Here we go, motherfucker, bam, and they want to dish you. Then now I got all this stuff I could say, and then since I remember all of the rhymes, I could combine these rhymes together. I could take a piece of this one and a piece
Right.
of that
Right.
one and a
Yeah.
piece of this and put it. So while I'm saying it, since I got it memorized already in my head, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say after it. Like, okay, this is 16 bars. So what I'm gonna say after the 16 bars? I'll be zoned out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because I sometimes I spit and I don't even realize, how I'm saying it, like how the cadence is, but I just go with the flow, and it's like this is gonna go here, and that's gonna. Oh, let me take a piece of this and a piece.
No, I definitely,
Like,
I definitely can relate. OG, I mean,
yeah,
me being an MC, I studied the greats, and everywhere I went,
yeah,
I was ready for a battle. I had rhymes on deck, ready to show off the
that,
skills. I
absolutely,
always spit my rhymes for my block and the people that
yeah,
knew me before I even laid down the track. I love to spit the 16s, the You know what I mean? The freestyle bars, my verses. I love to see the reaction of the people, and I definitely know I definitely relate to everything you're talking about right now.
Yeah, brother, because I be on some other shit. I'll be like, yo, like I got this joint, like spitting on people. Like, I just call it spit on them. I'm like, Silver Fox, dog, and ain't chipped out or whipped out. Put me in the crowd and I sticks out like a fat chick with her tits out. Man, I'm clicked out, all about getting hits out. My dog told me to spit out or get out, so I spits out. Fur about funky like feces, dog. I'm hungry like a beastie. Can I eat? I gotta rap like an insomniac, never sleepy. Got mad ladies loving me deeply. Chickens wanna freak me soon as they meet me. Plus these fake MCs on these bricks trying to verbally murder me. I did that shit like abortion. You don't know me. I blaze trees with gorillas, chimpanzees, laughing often at these little monkeys, these wannabes. I be in places you're never gonna see, from NYC to Atlantic City, better known as AC, from Philly to DC. They heard of me, so funky I'm smelling, yelling, get from in front of me. Like my name was Chuck D from the BE, but who be I emerging from the smoke of chocolate tie, red eye coming with that official butter shit, laced with the illa gorilla in the mist, hit like two fists, leave a nigga toothless, got that shit with two clips, stops all that bullshit, so you fucking with fuck your click, touch your click, head to the crib, fuck your bitch, told you I don't give a fuck about shit, or you doubt shit, I'm walking in house shit, when I spit them or some other shit, smother the bullshit like a pillow, got them weeping like willows after I rip them, waiting for me to come back, put the dick in, I'm touching these chickens like pap smears, I'm in there, I should have been here a long time ago, you know my stilo, don't pay crap, play CeeLo, we three dice, head crack, chips and shit, my style ain't nothing nice, and I bite mice, turn in the mice, slip dick the dice, I go all night, I know what she like, nigga be like on a mission, competition, fuck them all, buck them all, touch them all, I'm wicked, metaphors ball like liquid, drip, drop, dip, silver fire shit, be the toxic, older than your pops, dropping mad hits like raindrops, I intend to stay in the game till the game starts, your hair ever clear like vodka, chewing shit up like Chewbacca from Star Wars, breaking down doors, going for mine, coming for yours, so don't snow or crawl no falls, ripping pistol, you don't know, blunt still burn slow, I sky high like Pluto, flipping the cocoa like judo, trying to get fat like a sumo, playing these cats like Menudo, you know them cats, yo, I be that cat with the wall in my back and a rat pack, scoping for trouble, and 40 ounce guzzling so deep in the game, I'm dug in, got my man saying, yo, Foss, you the man, but you be bugging, I like that, can I write that? Oh, man, I'm like,
Hey,
that
much
stuff
respect.
come
Hey,
out.
much respect. I wasn't even gonna put you on the spot like that. You gave us about 40 bars right now. Much respect, Silver Fox, man.
Yeah,
Um, my
that's
last my
hard.
la- my last question. We going in almost an hour. I appreciate the time.
No
I'm
puzzle, brother. No doubt, brother. We set this up, so I'm here for you, man.
you
You feel
know,
me? And I'm here for all your people. Just want you to know Silver Fox 125 on Instagram, Silver Fox 125. But go ahead.
yeah, much love and respect from the hip hop community out here in San Diego, California, especially knowing that you've been out here and you did music
Man,
out here and things like
yeah,
that. I
I
just want
love San Diego. I love
for
it on
sure.
Fleet Week.
You gotta make a trip down here. It's beautiful. It's a growing city as well.
I love it out there. My boy out there, J Mac, J Ton the Mac, Jeffrey S. Fenton, and he's out there in San Diego, and I'm coming out there as soon as the weather breaks over here, and the COVID stuff kept me inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So that's what
yeah,
that's what I wanted to ask you because I've been following hip hop since the late 80s. And I've seen a lot of brothers, especially lately, um, that MC passing away for different, various reasons.
yes,
Unfortunately, a lot of times it's black on black crime. I mean,
yes.
being that you were around hip hop in the 80s and you're still alive, I want to celebrate life on my channel, hip hop,
Yes,
peace, and the
yes.
true spirit of,
Peace,
of hip
love.
hop culture. What is your
Yes, indeed.
what would be your advice to anybody out there that that wants to enjoy life and be a part of this hip hop thing and make it to your physical degree?
My thing is, you got to be true to yourself. And if you're not a gangster, don't try to be a gangster. And just to conform to the norm. Because it's like being in San Diego, right? Going to San Diego and going to different places like Alaska and this, but it lets me see different culture. Like New York is crazy. We crazy. Every rapper out here is talking about how they're gonna shoot you and how they're gonna stab you and kill you up. So if you go to a party listening to that, you're in danger, But yet and still, my people in Utah, I got my boys in Utah, Malifa B-Sox, Eastman, in Salt Lake City, there's Dumb Luck, and there's Street Jesus, and there's these guys, and even people in California, they show me a different light, a different culture where you can have fun, and everybody leaves, and they leaving with a smile on their face instead of walking out like they want to hurt somebody.
Right.
So my thing is that there's other elements to hip hop than what you're hearing on the radio, than what people are gravitating to than what than what the award shows are showing.
Right.
BET,
Well,
BET is,
what's pushed to the public.
that's right. You know why it's pushed to the public? Because the industry is controlling the music. So the industry is controlling hip hop. The people that they want to sell records, all they're thinking about is making money. They don't care about your youth. They don't care about your children. They don't care about your mom, your pop. They don't care about you. Because the bottom line is if you don't sell records for them, you get dropped. That's why there's a lot of good artists that was on labels, but yet they didn't sell the records because it wasn't being promoted properly. It wasn't. It wasn't what. It's not that it wasn't what we want to hear, but it wasn't being played on the radio. Wasn't being marketed properly, and it's not what they want. They want you to be dumbed down. The industry wants you to the industry perpetuates violence, promiscuity, uh, God, everything that we don't stand for as a people. And that's the thing about it. It's like, now I have street songs. I got some stuff that's geared to the street, but I got stuff that I could play that my mother would sit back and go, all right, that a little kid could say, oh yeah, because I did a show up in Harlem, and I had a 10-year-old on the stage with me while I was doing my run. And I'm like, so I'm going to make sure that I have a whole bunch of stuff that cultivates the culture. But if people try me, then I go into my bag. You feel me? I go into my mixtape bag. So what I say to people is that you got to have a lot of bags, man. You got to have something, because if you want to do shows, you got to do a show outside. Let's say you outside and you're doing a block party. You can't be out there talking about how you gonna kill them and stab them and put a ball. Then the thing also is that they cultivate these chains, man. Like it's really slavery anyway. They cultivate diamond chains and platinums. Like the record labels will fill you up with diamond chains, put some gold on bracelets on you, this that, get you paid long as you sell records for them. Other than that, it's like God. Instead of you buying a house or buying purchasing property or owning stuff, you want to have $10,000 on your neck when that could be invested into the neighborhood that you grew up in. It's like Rick Ross. Okay, Rick Ross. He brought chicken wing stops. He got a whole bunch of chicken things. That's a whole market, so he could sit back. He don't even have to make music. Maybach. I'm like, man, there's a whole lot of things to yourself. And what I say to young people is that you got to look at all the people that have been murdered because of the things they say. Matter of fact, just recently, my nephew, he was shot in the head.
Wow.
But he got videos. His name is Fly Guy. He's got videos. His videos, in every video, he got guns.
Right.
So you live by the gun, die by the gun, and you create enemies. I don't need to create enemies because they will come after what I love, and I love my children. Because if people can't get at me, they're gonna get at something you love. I got a mother I love. I got children. I got grandchildren. Shoot, man, I'm not letting nobody kill my kids or something because of what I'm saying about them. But see, that's the drama that's selling records.
And sometimes the streets try to pull you in as well. I've noticed that as well.
Well, the streets, it depends on what street you in. If you in the streets of New York, everybody is hustle, bustle, is fast moving, man. We be packed in the trains. There's no place to park your vehicle. Everybody is violent. You know what I mean? You step on somebody, told it. It could be an accident. There's people getting pushed on the train, tracks on the tracks. It's like it's like it's ready to bust, like a balloon that somebody ready to stick a pin in.
Right.
But yet, in other places, I could go to California and sit on the beach.
Right.
I'm not worrying about somebody walking up and want to rob me. But you can't do that. There's Coney Island beach out here, but shoot, that's dangerous too. So it's like you gotta, I don't know, you gotta have your social network has to be grown. You could be young, but God, man, you could do some grown stuff. It's like nobody talks about going to college. Nobody talks about getting degrees. Nobody talks about, even college radio is playing the bull crap. You know what I mean? They playing that bullshit on college radio. And nobody is, I'm not saying nobody, because there are people that are doing this.
Right.
But you're not going to hear about them on the radio because that's not selling records. You're not going to hear about it. And, you'll hear about it in interviews like this one. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I thank you. You think of me for my time, but I thank you for your time, for letting me express myself and letting other people hear it. And, right now they call me Legendary MC Silver Fox. And I have so many pages that I just want to say, go to Silver Fox Music US, one word, and that's on Google, and you can find all pages, everything I got, my Reverb Nation pages. Oh, and by the way, the Reverb Nation in San Diego, I also have a Reverb Nation for Brooklyn.
Okay.
So I was chilling in Brooklyn one time. So it's like, there's different ways of marketing myself. And I post on Reverb, and a lot of people, the people are hearing about me now because my man LL Cool J, he put Rock the Bells Radio. I had an interview there, and big up, and it's like he perpetuates. He lets people know that I'm the one that taught him. So that's cool. He doesn't say, he influenced me. He said, nah, Silver Fox taught me how to rap. He taught me how to do this. And so, that's big ups for him. And a lot of cats be saying, well, if it's all of that, then why you ain't on one of his records? So why? But it's like, hey, his life went in one way, my life went in another way.
Right.
So there's right now we come together, we grown. You know what I mean? He's grown with children. I'm grown with children. We see things differently than we did when we were younger.
Hey, just getting you on the line and linking up with you like this, that's like me, accomplishing things that I only dreamed of as a child. I mean, I used to watch LL on television, watch his videos, buy his CDs. I mean, definitely he's somebody that inspired me. I had heard about you, and I know that's a significant part of hip hop history right there that you shared with me today, and I truly appreciate that. Anybody who wants to check out his music, you heard him, Legendary MC Silver Fox.
That's right.
Google the name. He's on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. He said
Silver Fox 125.
there it is right there. And he said he's got music on the way. So be on the lookout for that new MC Silver Fox music, man.
That's right. The Howling is coming with features from a lot of good people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm holding back on that, but I got Chuchi Sanders on there. I got my man Jag on there. I got Sedan, the God of Sound. I have King G. There's a lot of cats that's collabing with me, and we got this album ready to come. So it may come by April, which is my birthday. So
how old you gonna be, OG?
Oh man, I ain't telling nobody nothing.
We got to do the math. I was trying to find your birth date online, and I couldn't even find it. But I could do the math.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm a real OG though. I'm a real OG, and people be saying, "Yo, why you rapping? Why you gonna do it?" But man, I love music. It's it's like people. There's Smokey Robinson. He's 79 years old. Patti LaBelle is 77. It's like God. Why can't an MC do music and be older too? So I'm like LL Cool J's in his 50s. He still got music coming. It's like we all got something to say. That's why, because I got something to say. So I want y'all to give a listen, and I'll let y'all know though I'm over 60. How's that? I'm over 60.
Respect,
So
respect.
all right, that's what I'm talking about. So I gotta go, my brother.
All right,
You
all
know,
right. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for anything new. And if you in San Diego, what I mean, holla at me,
yeah,
man.
no doubt, no doubt. I'll be there soon.
All right,
All
all right, Silver
right,
Fox. Take care. Peace.
peace.